They're about to start garnishing wages for these unpaid student loans, girl.
I'm not paying back my student loans.
Student loans in default are going to be referred to debt collection.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? Today we're talking about garnish. You know, the little leaves you put inside your food that you're not really supposed to eat, but you can eat it, right?
I eat it every time.
You eat garnish?
It's edible, right?
It is edible, but it has no taste to it. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the May 5th student debt garnish. Linda McMahon, I swear, I did not expect some WWE person to screw over a lot of people on their student loans. I guess the super so.
Well, I guess so. What's happening is on May 5th, if your student loans are defaulted, they are going to be garnishing your wages and they're going to be collecting those payments that are overdue. And a lot of people are outraged. They are not paying.
Yeah. So here's the thing with defaultment. Isn't that a thing that you can just do and you're not supposed to pay it back at that point?
No, you have to pay. You have to pay back your student loans. But there's forbearance.
Oh.
Which is like the actual thing where you are talking to the servicer or whatever, and they're putting your account on forbearance for a set amount of time so you don't have to pay. And it's interest free most of the time. And then there's deferment, like if you're in school, you can just pay at a later date and then you'll go back into repayment. But like this right here, you defaulted because you haven't been making the payment that you need to make.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually insane. But still, really funny WWE person in government control. It's hilarious.
Insane, but these people aren't paying back in this economy.
You can't afford to pay back. You either pay your student loans or die. That's all you got. So yeah, this mess is insane.
My casket will have a file cabinet for all these student loans to rest in heavenly peace. That's how much I owe in student loans. Much money I owe in student loans. Now let me provide you with some additional information, since I know that this video is going to go viral because people are cruel and a lot of people are going to be ready to attack me in the comments and judge me and do whatever they got to do to feel good about themselves. I am a proud 25-year-old with over $100,000 in student loan debt. I went to school. I got a free associate degree through the early college program. I then furthered my education and got 2 additional degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. But one thing America doesn't know about me is that I have 1 additional degree that's not on file and it's not in the records anywhere, and that's a law degree. At any given point, I'm prepared to take the stand and explain why I cannot afford to pay a dime on their student loans. Baby, you ain't never seen a sharp, undegreed attorney like me ever in your life. It's my time to shine.
See, you know how like the running joke is like, oh, these people go to these colleges and get I can't get a job with this degree, and like you do something that you can't really get a job with. She went to school and got multiple degrees that are legit the baseline degrees you need to get an all right job of $6K, 6-figure job, and she still can't even pay off those loans with that.
Yeah, the degrees ain't paying like that anymore. Then they cost so much, the tuition costs so much, the interest rates are so high, and it's like either way, people just can't even afford it, even if they did get a good degree.
Yeah. Funny thing enough, too, I figured this out. I learned this. Ronald Reagan's the reason we paid tuition. Ronald Reagan, the reason that the Wall Street crashed that one time. Ronald Reagan. It used to be free in a lot of places, and now it costs so much. And it used to actually be 1900. I mean, 19,000. 90,000 for like a tuition a couple years ago. Now it's like 40,000. I can't afford that.
Yeah, at this point, you're just signing up for like a lifetime of debt that you can't pay back, and that is it even worth it if you did get a good job, but you have to be stuck with this debt forever? It's crazy because you never know what could happen with your job, and you might not be able to make money for a little bit.
Yeah, so even with a good job, you're screwed, and it's insane.
Not fun.
It's not.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far right, conservative, hardcore Republican family. And since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars, but I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem?
Someone said the thing once and said that the debt the government has really ain't real debt, because they can just kind of go around it. They always will find the money, because they take the money from people who have passed and no one can claim the money. They take it. Money that's been lost, they'll take that. They'll use any money that they find. They'll cut anything they find. And so basically debt is not really real to them, because it don't affect them. They know it don't affect them. That's the only really affected citizens. And they can say, oh yeah, actually that debt don't affect us.
And then the people that took out these loans, like, they actually, some of them pay it back like multiple times over because of the interest. So like if they took out 30K, they would have paid back like 100K already, but then they're still stuck into debt because of capitalized interest, and they're paying interest over interest. And then it's just like the compounding interest, it just never stops. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, and what he said with the whole PPP loan stuff, they really did like, oh yeah, PPP loan, we did not get scammed. We're taking that, we're going from you guys, but we didn't get scammed. That money is just going right back. So like, why is it hard for someone who had like 40,000 to get that mess forgiven?
These loans are so predatory because they will have 18-year-olds, sometimes 17-year-olds, and they don't know anything about the world like that.
Yeah.
They don't really understand money like that, and they're just being told that it'll work out for them in the end. So they sign it and they don't get interest rates. They don't understand how it's going to affect them, and then they're just stuck with it.
Yeah, because like what he said, like we're always told, college, at any means, college. And now like going to college, we can't afford nothing still.
That
Jobs ain't paying.
it's not.
So if student loans that are in default get kicked to collections, then isn't it technically true under the law that after 7 years and 180 days after the date of first delinquency, it'll come off my credit report? If I'm right about that, which I'm always right, if it gets kicked to collections and I haven't made a single payment in 7.5 years, the second it hits collections, it appears on my credit report, I am legally able to dispute it off because it's been 7.5 years since the date of first delinquency. It doesn't come off, or at least my dispute doesn't get reinvestigated. I could have claims under a Fair Credit Reporting Act cause of action, hire a credit lawyer at no cost to me, sue them, sue the creditor, get it all off my report, and get paid. Yeah, that's what Seed Legal is for. So
That could work too, actually.
It just might.
Because let's say something, I'm not trying to get political, but here's something with this administration recently. A lot of their plans have not been working out. They've not been working out in the least bit. Companies have been losing money through the choices in the government. Tariffs have made companies lose money. This could actually either be, one, the highest big brain play I've seen in my entire life, or two, a big mess up that could cost the government and these companies billions.
Are they still supposed to be going to the Small Business Administration? Because I heard student loans were going to be transferred over there if the Department of Education is dismantled. So I guess we'll see.
Actually, funny enough, he has no right to do that. That's Congress. And Congress is like not agreeing with him no more because he screwed him over multiple times. So it might not go away at all. He could fire some people and take some of their money away, but it's not going nowhere.
But this is all getting really sad because people are basing life decisions on this. Like, people are not able to even buy houses, buy a car, have kids do whatever else because of the student loan payments. Some of them aren't even able to get married or whatever. So it'll just be too much of a burden. They have to cut their tax benefits because they have to do married filing separately rather than jointly, which will give you more benefits. So, yeah.
Well, it is what it is, I guess.
And things with it keep changing like this. This is news to a lot of people.
Because it's like they just don't have the right people in place for this mess.
It's really sad.
I don't know if y'all saw, but starting May 5th, they're supposed to be garnishing wages for student loans if your stuff is in default or if you haven't been making payments. Now, what the hell are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because they want people at the last moment to have, like, what will basically have to happen is a lot of people, myself included, are going to have to rearrange their entire lives financially in order to cover whatever the fuck they are planning on doing to get these student loans. To be honest, I'm a first generation graduate. Bitch, getting through college was hard enough. Now that I have to, Lord, I don't even want to think about having to pay it back. The loans are so predatory. There is no reason why your average everyday citizen should have to pay more than corporations that have been bailed out by the government. Like, there's no way that we should be paying a higher interest rate than them to the point where people have to go to their graves in debt, even though we're all willing to pay. Like, frankly, I'll be honest, I think education should be free. However, if I did have to pay back my student loans, I'm cool with doing that, but that interest rate, it has to come down. It's impossible to pay that, like, especially with recession, inflation, like, and all the other things, life expenses, you name it. Something got to give. So my question to y'all is, what the fuck is we doing? Yeah, let me know, because I'm going to need some answers.
Truly, because, like, what's the plan here? First things first, government doesn't want a recession to happen. They want people to have more money, but then they're going to do a thing that causes people to have less money, which will cause a recession even worse than the recession that's going to happen. What's the plan here?
I don't see it working out either way, for real. Like, I feel like any money they can get from people, I guess, because this right here is required, so they're just trying to take it, I guess.
Stupid. Stop. Make no sense. I'm confused.
For real. And then, like, the first generational college student and all of that, like, sometimes that doesn't even work out because then you're even more in debt as a family, as a generation. So I feel like either way, like, if there's another path, maybe just like first generational business owner, first generational no debt, break the cycle of debt, and then that would be a huge step for the family.
Truly, I feel like at this certain point, I kind of get why these people will go to college with debt anyway. Because at a certain point, because even though people say that these degrees don't matter anymore, to a lot of people they still do. To a lot of these, as I said before in another video, a lot of people aren't leaving the workforce. So you got all these old heads who love degrees, who only look at the degrees, and still control. So at a certain point, the degree does definitely matter. And you probably would have to have that with some debt. Probably would go to community college, not some mega college. Instead, I would go to community college and have community college debt, but still just have a degree. At least at that point, I know I can get certain jobs because some of these people really still do care.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's just better to assess your situation and, like, take time before just signing into these loans to figure out what you actually want to do. And if that fits your lifestyle and that's what you're okay with, then go ahead and do whatever.
And from all the things I used to remember seeing about the stuff, it's kind of like coupons. People don't coupon enough. People don't go for grants enough. They don't.
Scholarships, all of that. They have apps now where you like swipe like a dating app.
Yeah.
And you just swipe right on scholarships that you want.
There are grants on your age, your race, what you like doing, what you can do for the community. Oh, you like giving the homeless? You feed the homeless grant. Here, you fed the homeless once. Now you have free money.
They just make that hard too because you have to do like a bunch of essays and all of that. But
Yeah.
you get like the free ride to college sometimes, so it could be helpful.
It could be definitely helpful.
But if you're in forbearance right now, you should definitely take this free time to just pay down the loans because you don't want this to happen.
Rob the bank and then give money back to the bank.
It's insane. You had the COVID forbearance too, then you have like the state forbearance, and there might have been some other ones in between. Take advantage of those and just pay them while you can. You would escape a really big vicious cycle of interest.
Yeah, I like to say this though. I'm not trying to yab right now, but I like to say this. People always say you had so much time during COVID to not pay back people. There was no jobs for legit, like at least 3 months, 4 months at that point for a lot of people, and they're still not hiring. Because I'm surprised a lot of people aren't right now.
We still recovering from all of that, so like I don't think things are actually back to normal.
They're not. You can't go back to normal if they're a global pandemic like that. You can't. It's impossible. Things are always going to, like I said before, things will never go back to normal. Things will never change. Things have always changed, and life is different. This kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
They're about to start garnishing wages for these unpaid student loans. Girl, I knew we was unified and not paying them. But girl, we got to stay unified with what we got coming up. So here's what I would recommend. If you can file for deferment, because I knew they stopped doing the income-based repayment plans. They stopped doing that a minute ago. But if you can still do the deferment, I would highly recommend applying for that because I just got approved for the deferment. If you want to know if you can get approved for the deferment, if you receive any type of public assistance, I'm talking like Medicaid, if you could get $5 worth of food stamps. Okay, if you could get $5 worth of food stamps, send them that approval letter and you will be deferred. My stuff just got deferred until October. Okay, girl, that's what we're going to have to do. And then by that time, I'm going to be back in school. Okay. Because I'm not fit to play with them. I don't have it. You'll get your little money. And I knew something was coming, which is why I looked up on it. Because I don't know who's been checking their credit, but I haven't paid my student loans ever, right? I was on the repayment plan like back in 2020. Once the pandemic hit, I stopped paying altogether, right? But I was on the repayment plan. Then they stopped the repayment plans, and I just been watching my credit. Back in March, my credit took like a hit of like 200 points because I ain't never paid them people. And I was like, oh, this is bad. And I was about to get it taken off my credit, but I know that that was the longest item on my credit was them student loans. So I was like, let me go see if I could get a deferment or what other options they have. So, and I applied like 2 weeks ago and it just went through like yesterday. Girl. Oh yeah, because I knew something was coming. Because like all that time I hadn't paid and it just wasn't showing up on my credit report. But it was like back in March, like mid-March, they had put it on my credit report. I was like, I don't trust that, girl. But garnishing wages is crazy. We all supposed to be hitting the streets. Okay? Okay, it's about to be cash only around these parts.
When he says cash only, yeah, actually, never thought about that. At this point, a lot of people are going to be like waiting outside Home Depot. You know what I mean? Like the whole the whole stereotype of the immigrants waiting at Home Depot to get a job. People are going to be doing that. People are going to be doing that, and have fun not getting your money because I'm going to start working too.
Exactly. Because this is too much for a lot of people, and like deferment is cool and all, just don't go into more debt for it because you never know what they're going to try to do to get their money in the future, and you don't want any more debt underneath their name.
Yeah, and like actually now this is a big old boost for me to go back to school. Like, oh wait, you can't do this if I am in school now?
Yep.
Time to get my PhD. I'm going to be in school for the rest of my life. Oh, anyway, I got my PhD. Time to go become a doctor.
Lifelong education rather than lifelong debt.
That's some true stuff right there. I'll let's do that at that point.
At this point, for real.
Have every master's, have a PhD in every single field.
If you can take at least even just one class at a community college, I'm pretty sure that would count.
Yep. Oh man, I failed it. Oh, time to take it again.
And pay it out of pocket because some of the costs are less than your monthly payment at this point with some of the IBR, the income-based repayment plans are gone.
I wonder if dance classes can count. Got masters in dance.
It should. If it's a college course, then yeah, it would count.
As long as it's at a college, it'll work. So legit do anything and everything at this point. Screw them over.
Exactly.
Student loans in default are going to be referred to debt collection, the education department says. That was the headline today. So let me put y'all up on something. Once student loans normally go or any account goes over into a collection agency, you can request a debt validation underneath the FDCPA. And that's requesting proof that that collection agency even owns the debt. When debts are transferred or collections are charged off, normally the original creditor never ever sends the paperwork that you originally signed. The debt collector just bought your debt in a portfolio with millions of other people. So they will not have the paperwork on anyone, okay? Unless they've been putting it in third-party information systems like on blockchain or something. But other than that, they shouldn't have it. And if the collection agency can't prove the original loan documents on a payment history or prove your signature, then they must stop collection and they must remove it from your credit report. Let's see how far this goes, because this is going to be interesting. Debt collection on student loans? Child, please.
And truly, what happens if everyone declares bankruptcy at once? Well, then again, you can't really get that off student loans.
Yeah, not really.
Dang, that sucks. So
That's why they're the most predatory.
yeah, and once again, like this person right here says, they get millions, like millions and billions of dollars during PPP loans. So why was student loans so hard to get rid of?
It's actually insane.
It's almost like the system only runs off of our stuff. Like this,
The system does rely on you being in debt forever.
the system sucks. It makes no sense.
It really doesn't. Make sure to just check your credit reports, because even like they can be doing stuff in the back end and messing stuff up, and you don't want to have any errors on your report, especially if you're trying to buy a house or whatever. And then you got people out here getting crazy, and they might need some education or whatever. They could use your credit to fund that, and think they can get away with it. So make sure to stay on top of it so you can dispute it real quick.
How fast would you get caught if you stole someone else's information for your college stuff?
I don't know.
I feel like that would be too risky. I feel like that would be automatic caught. So I don't think you can do that.
It can happen though. So yeah, that's why it's just always best to freeze your credit and just look at it all the time to make sure nobody's doing anything funny.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, it makes no sense to not have your credit frozen. Actually,
Yeah, for you.
just always have it frozen every time. Like as soon as you get it, freeze it.
Something they should be teaching you about in school too. Because like, why did I just now figure out about that like last year?
Yeah, I bet you right now this is like 25 different scammers trying to use your information and like, oh, it's frozen. I can't even buy stuff.
Too bad.
Too bad.
And even if it looks like it's from your servicer or it's correct, make sure to check the amounts and all of that just to be sure.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You have student loans, you need to stop scrolling because they're about to start garnishing wages. Now, you're probably saying, you know what? My student loans are above me now. I don't care. So if that is you, you definitely need to listen because this applies to you. Starting on May 5th, the Department of Education is going to start requesting payments from people who are in default from their student loans. So if you have not been making payments, you are past due, you didn't enroll in any programs, no repayment programs, they're coming after you. And if you do not make any payments and after May 5th or enroll in any payment plans, they're going to start garnishing your wages. It's very unfair because it's not even enough amount of notice to give people to start paying back. At least if they'll give us some notice, so give people some notice. Okay, you're going to start paying, $500 a month in the next 2 to 3 months. But a 2-week notice is insane. So go ahead and share, save this video, repost it because there's only 2 weeks and a lot of people need to hear this. So they won't be surprised. Yeah.
Also, see, it's hard to say with this administration. Because a lot of time maybe it's doing things without actually all the go-aheads and things that needs to be done for it to happen.
Yeah.
Because we're still in, it turns out this entire time we've always been on Trump's tax plan. And they're actually doing a vote, it's going to end this year. So the government's really weird. So how long would it take for this stuff to actually take place? Because they say, oh, by March 5th, we're going to start doing it. May 5th, we're going to start doing it. Actually, by May 5th of the next 5 years, you're going to start doing it. Like, so how long will it take for this stuff to start? Actually.
I don't know. They say May 5th. So I guess on May 5th, we're going to see if people's accounts are being pulled.
And it gets blocked by some federal judge that's being, by some federal judge. And now all of a sudden, like, oh, actually, it's going to happen in the next 10 years.
But actually, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure it's just already passed because it has to do with like a forbearance or it's people in default. And then like you already have the court case from Mohiwa, however you pronounce that the save plan was harming them. So I think that this actually got passed and it was amazing.
That's crazy.
And you don't want to just think that, oh, he can't do that. It's illegal, so you're not going to pay. Like, don't mess up your credit for these people. Just pay it and figure out a way to get out of it.
Well, what hasn't he done, or like this new administration done that wasn't illegal? Like we have like federal, like apolitical federal judges saying, oh, yeah, it's illegal, but he can do it. You got people on his side saying, yeah, it's legal, but we can do it. And we got people on the other side saying, it's illegal, but he can do it.
Exactly. In the end, you're just going to get hurt either way. Just take the best path to, like, benefit your future better.
So it turns out the government kind of sucks. And the debt sucks, too. So don't get in debt to begin with, I guess, at this point.
Don't do this if you are about to go to college. Please research it, like, a lot because you don't want to be in the same place as all of these other people that they're in right now. It's horrible. Try to look into loan forgiveness too, like PSLF.
Yeah.
Anything. It's like a pain to do though.
Yeah.
Because you have to be like in a nonprofit or government job for like 10 plus years. And then sometimes like this forbearance time, your payments won't count for that. And then you'll be stuck in that forever. And then it's like, it's constantly changing. We don't know if it's going to be around forever. So yeah, think about that. Don't just go to college because you're promised loan forgiveness.
Yeah, the biggest thing that people were promised with college was a good job.
Yeah.
Now people who got good jobs don't have the benefit of having a good job. So at this point, college sucks. Not because it's in her eyes scam. In my eyes, it sucks because you ain't getting nothing out of it anyway.
I feel like there's just better alternatives, even if it's temporary, because most people don't have the money to go to college right away. So you could go into a trade, start a business, do anything, and then like pay for it out of pocket later on. Like it doesn't need to be a rush all the time.
Yeah, it's true. But now at this point, trade school's expensive too.
It is. Try like ECPI or whatever. They're not that expensive, but that was back in 2018 for me.
I need to check, but I'll check off screen and I'll put in the description or something.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Because this video's been running a little long, been yapping, but I don't care anymore. I got a lot to say about this mess.
Well, just try to find a way to pay it back. Try to just get it out the way. You don't have to. This doesn't have to be you. You could be out of it from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But don't screw yourself over just because like the government or other people are trying to. If you feel that way, like just do what's gonna benefit you the most and get out of it.
Yeah, because remember this, at the end of the day, you matter. What you got going on matters. People going to try to get in your way about things, but I might as well just do it. Just do it if you feel like you need to do it. If you don't. Because at this point, because once again, remember this, we're not financial advisors. We're not the financial king and queen. We're just yapping.
Yeah, but in the end, the law is going to step in and they're going to side with the servicers and all of that. They're going to say, you sign on the dotted line. So, you're going to be required to pay it back. There's no way around it.
Remember, rich people are more important than you in the government's eyes. Don't forget about that.
That's why you got to be careful. Don't sign on the dotted line if you don't fully understand everything.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video, and please get us to 1,000 subscribers.
Please pay your debts because they're going to get you either way. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.